In Brad Scott in his final game.
Definitely Hunter v Pollack out on the far wing. Is going to be a matchup to watch throughout the afternoon.
All right, we are set to go. Round 10. So Doug Nicholls' round continues from Marvel Stadium. Goldstein was heavily favoured by the tap.
And as we'd expect, Trengove has gone back to play on Big Ben Brown.
And Bontempelli starting in the middle. Zigs and zags, gets a little bit closer. It wasn't the best looking kick, but absolutely perfect in terms of the result.
Kangaroos don't need if it goes through.
Bulldogs have been poor starters this year. They won just one first quarter. That was in round
That's
one.
Another 50.
Oh.
He's in vogue this week.
Didn't watch Dane Rampy last night, where Pittard there has got to his line on the mark, then jumped forward as Mitch Wallace was taking the kick.
The opening goal has been kicked in under a minute by Mitch Wallace, to add to his two last week, and the Dogs are off and running.
There, the tallest and the shortest on the ground going hard at each other. Cunnington was magnificent. Higgins gets it across. Now the Kangaroos are his chance. Up they go to Brown. Punched away by Trengove. The ball hits the deck. Picked up again by the Kangaroos. A long step goal. It's going to come back. I think he's got it.
Wood stabs it. It was a bit of a nothing kick, and now Johannesson on the fly, and the Bulldogs have got some options. Hunter waited to try and hit a target, and Lloyd, who's in excellent form. It's not just about in front of the goal face for him. Had 16 disposals last week. 15 of them were kicks, and there's one that splits the middle.
Competition committee yet are talking about this in the same manner next time you meet.
Liberatore, Lloyd, oh, that's high. Davies Uniacke, who was the one inclusion for North Melbourne this week.
Settling in as quick as you possibly can. New roll.
And that looks pretty good too off the boot, but it just drifts across. But they're getting closer, and Smith's kick is guided and dropped by Richards, so it's all been a bit faltery and fumbly. But Suckling still confronted. Atley got the full wraparound tackle. Higgins, the former Dog, he found a way through and puts it on the chest of Larkey. Goal from 10 disposals, but as Jared said, has shown some real promise, and he's guided that one. It's just squeezed through. And the Kangaroos are back in front.
He does exactly that. Lloyd is the flyer, got underneath the ball. At the fall of the ball, good play by Norton. Now Ed Richards has got it close to the boundary line, keeps it in, goes for the miraculous kick.
Around there to take it. He's gone for the corridor kick. Boy, it was courting disaster, but they're going to get away with this. Pollack flashing through McMillan, Davies Uniacke, they're on the move. Had some options on the outer side to get it safely forward. Dumont for Wood. Brown holds, leads now. Larkey's there as well, and Zurha! Goals was the Rising Star nominee that week, and he slots one here. They've kicked a couple in a row now, North Melbourne, and are leading by 6.
To a zone where the players are set up.
Lipinski, English, Liberatore, top of the square, maybe beyond. The Bont! Read the play. Running back to goal.
The defensive side, good underground handball. And again, smart play by the big man. Oh, put it on the tee.
He did, and he was able to turn McMillan, and that's just picking it up in the way that the Bont does, a lot quicker, and get goal side of McMillan to give himself that opportunity.
As was called beautifully there by Jono, just knew exactly where to be. Simpkin gets the kick out of the centre for the Kangaroos. Umpire whistle goes. It's going to the Bulldogs.
Interesting change of role for Lipinski, Jono, coming
50,
inside.
50 to Crozier. Go on, Jared.
Yeah, it is, because he's playing more sort of, that inside mid. He's going to get an opportunity early to do that, and he will want to succeed at it. Otherwise, they may have to then push him out to the wing if Cunnington and Zeeble and these sort of guys are getting on top.
Well, he did pretty well at that last centre bounce.
Been a negotiation over another 50 metres there. In the end, common sense prevailed. Off hands. Wallace. It was Wallace? No, it was Dale, I think it was.
Yep.
It's an interesting interpretation.
And McDonald takes it as quickly as he can, and suddenly they're at full forward. And Zeeble flying unencumbered, but hit the turf hard without footy in hand. Brown goes tumbling over. Anderson got through. Turner couldn't. Given a lot of latitude by the umpire, and it's produced a goal off the left boot of Anderson.
Well, the Bulldogs look like Caleb Daniel had stopped them.
Anzac Day.
Let's have a look here.
Yeah.
That one to Turner.
At half a metre. I mean, that's play on. Good decision.
Liberatore hit it hard. You'd expect nothing else. He needed to be agile against Atley, and he was all of that and more. Hunter takes them wide and effective to Lloyd. Covering the territory. He looks up. Bailey Dale is deep. He's got a lead in the pocket, and it's Suckling. Just in the...
Jared?
Bit of right to left.
Yes.
He's got a bit of the buddies about his kicking,
He
hasn't
has.
he? Look at that. Look at that.
Kick from 45. And the kick is out on the full.
Montempelli. Oh, there is Tarrant Thomas, and he didn't rush it either. He made sure he finished off his work. There's something to build a club around.
And snap it on the right.
So, Jared and Jono, we've talked about where Brad Scott might be going, and we know...
Tough one for Norton to handle, though. Tarrant had a bit of the jumper. It pokes inside the 50. An opportunity for Dunkley initially. Now Libba, another crack at the big opening, and this time he lands it for the Bulldogs. And she's level again at Marvel Stadium.
To allow that to happen because Mitch Wallace...
This will be his 13th disposal. Game high for the Kangaroos. To the top of the square, they need a big fly. Brown came in, brought it to ground. Have a look at that, they all dive in. Anderson's been great. Cunnington's goal. He's put it through on the left boot.
We can't speak highly enough of him.
That's been the nature of his career, short career so far. Those injuries where he might play 3 or 4 good ones and then miss a stint on the sideline. So consistency is the key because if he can get it, then he's got the class to...
Going out of the middle, following up the goal, putting the pressure on the Bulldogs' defence. Bailey Williams stood up to it, kept it moving instantly. Cordy had to find his left boot, which was always a concern. Turner, and now Zeeble. It's curling up. Oh, speaking of curly.
Shocking kick set this up, but a good result by the Kangaroos.
And it's put through by Ben Brown, and he's on the board.
Poor left foot out of defence. And then Ben Brown here just able to clean it up.
So, Jared, 7 individual goal kickers for North Melbourne. Anderson, Cunnington, Larkey, Thomas, Wood, Zerha, and now Ben Brown on the board. And they've kicked as much as he's rucked today. Pollock gives the handball over. McMillan, inside 50, he goes with the kick. It's a beauty, and Mason Wood is looking absolutely sensational to become their first multiple goal kicker this afternoon. He does just that. He squeezes it through. That's 2 to Mason Wood, 3 in a row.
Towards him, and then the kick was a smart one. He dropped it short. Good kick from McMillan. Top of the square. Bulldogs wrong foot.
It's an opportunity here to send them inside 50. Equal numbers there. Norton goes off the ground. What a choice. What a kick. You've got to do your training on the ground before you go into space.
You do that, Hutto. And a good response by the Western Bulldogs. Things starting to get a little bit nasty, but that was just clever football.
That's the type of football.
Big kick. This is going to take a massive kick. 51 metres out, he lines it up, and if you don't mind, he splits the middle. That was magnificent by Zerha by 18 points.
Got the better of English. Cunnington sprawled out. Wallace won the Sharon and gets it moving their way. And Johannesson timing was pretty good, and the kick was perfect for Bontempelli.
It's 50.
That's pure footy.
After this pump up.
Bontempelli just caressed it, but he may have just pushed it in trying to...
It was good stuff to McLean. Now a chance for Bontempelli from 55. And again, he kicks it to the near side. Williams off one step, kicks it to the pocket. Thomas goes up, beautiful mark.
At the moment. He is everywhere. He's helping defensively.
And it was always to the near side.
Rather than going long.
Well, Johannesson does go relatively long. He went to the height of English.
He's
got through to the next line, coming through to try and take the mark, and it's Dunkley. 4 goals, 5 for the season for Josh Dunkley coming in today. Is it going to hold? No.
Oh, wow, they shake the post there. But Atley butted up beautifully. The kick from Wood is inside 50. This is the danger play against the Bulldogs. There's going to be a free kick to North. It's a double whammy. Trengove goes down, and Brown will line up 35 metres out directly in front.
Back of his teammate, Jackson Trengove.
Yep.
Bang, right under the rib cage.
It was well done by Ben Brown in terms of that stop and prop, and allowed Trengove just come into the back of him, arms around. That's how he wins himself the free kick.
So massive kick, as we're just saying, in the context of this game. Comes off the long run. The momentum is good. The kick is magnificent. And Ben Brown gets his second of the quarter.
And gee, it's a reflex action from most, but when the forward comes...
Absolutely vital. Suckling back in defence now, probing, but Goldstein beats them all to the punch, and Higgins can guide it onto another leading Kangaroo's chest. 1 goal, 3. Not a big sample size, but he'd love to start nailing shots like that. Unfortunately, it's just another point.
Now the chance for the Doggies. McLean, little chip kick out, and it's been marked out there by Crozier. Again over the top, they wait. Wallace, who's after the siren kick. And he almost missed it. And it was touched through. Is it a behind or touched?